G'day viewers, my name is Michael and welcome to SingleRacer. And welcome to what I believe is the most realistic sim racing experience I personally have ever had. And now, as far as AC goes, or Assetto Corsa, it is still my sim of choice, and that's because of the sheer range of fantastic racing I've had both online and offline. And I think even over Automobilista 2, and I hope I don't offend anyone by that, but it's just simply because of the mods. Because I can race cars like you see here, the Aston Martin GT3 or those sort of ilk of cars, and or completely the opposite end, really silly cars. The Lego car comes to mind off the top of my head, but also fun silly cars, if you want to call it that, is something like the transit van from Gary Patterson over at Race Department. Absolutely brilliant mod, but on the fun side of things. And it's that range of things that still make AC the sim of choice for me still. But now, having bought some of the DLC for rFactor 2, the one thing I can say hand on heart that rFactor 2 does the best, even over Assetto Corsa, is the way it transmits, at least to my wheel. And I just have a basic Logitech G29. It's a great wheel for the price, great entry level wheel. But the thing it does best for my wheel is the translation of the feeling of the front wheels of the car. Almost mimics a steering rack, or the suspension, or the way the wheels ride over things like the curbs and all that. rFactor 2 does that absolutely perfect. And so that's why I desperately wanted to show you what I consider the most realistic sim racing experience that I've ever had in racing. But just before I do that, I wanted to say a big thank you to a channel called Franky Red. And Franky Red, earlier today, as I did my usual perusal of YouTube sim racing channels, made me aware of this new menu for rFactor 2. Now it's in beta and I don't want to steal his thunder, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a link to that video in the description if you want to find out how to install it. But let's just have a quick look around, because there is an important thing here, and that is that the realism of this particular car and track combo for me, both personally as a sim racer but also as a creator, might not translate to you, and I'm a bit worried about that because it's not the most exciting race car. And what I mean by that is it's not your typical GT3 that you see here in the GT3 DLC for rFactor 2, and it's not even in the endurance pack of the DLC for rFactor 2, but it actually comes from the DLC of REIZA for rFactor 2, and yes, that includes some of the cars that are now in Automobilista 2, as well as at least a couple of the tracks that I can remember from Automobilista 2. But it's the almost what you'd call the training car. It's the Formula V that is the most realistic as far as feeling like you're driving a real car, and this is in VR, so this is, the VR feeling already gives you that real life feeling that you're sitting in a car. But then add to that the transmission of these road tyres from the Formula V through your wheel is just incredible. And so just before we go racing, let's have a very quick look around this new menu, because for someone like me that found it a bit confusing using the old menu, and mind you, you can still go back to the old menu if you don't like this one particularly, but let's just have a quick look around. And one thing I don't like, and it could be why they have the race page here, so this is the start and you have the race page as well, is that when I click on this, it's taking me to, or if I click up here, it's taking me to the multiplayer. See, and just like that, you get this constant loading of the servers, which can get annoying. Now, it's possible that that will go away once it's settled in, but by clicking on race in the top of the menu, you tend to get that particular annoying factor, which, you know, to me would be better if when you clicked on race, it went to the single player, and then from there you could then choose multiplayer if you want, rather than being forced to go to multiplayer first. But that's, you know, a little bug they could be ironing out. Watch is your standard replays, you know, to have a look at the replays. And if we go back now, we also have community information as well as content, you know, the Steam workshop for other mods that you can add to, you know, to rFactor 2, as well as you've got the front page being the news here, and that's where you exit the game. Now, as far as the setup goes, and I'll just explain that, I want to race this car as default. So if we go up to here, this is where we have the settings here, and you have, you know, your beautiful menu that you can go along and take each setting individually. So we'll go here to difficulty, and I have everything off, but I'm leaving the Formula V as default. Now, one thing I can't remember if it's default is the AI strength. I'm pretty sure it could have been 90 at default, but I'm putting it up to 100 and 25 aggression, only because you have a problem if you put up the aggression too much. Being an open wheel car, they can lock wheels too often, and so I wanted to avoid that. So I left it at 25 and 100% strength, and all the sort of steering, you know, the AI, not the AI, sorry, the aids are all switched off just for that bit more realism as far as the car goes. But the car is set to default. I haven't even lowered the fuel. I just want it to run the way you might run it in the race. So if we go back here now, we'll cover off just on one more thing before we go racing. And that is that when I first got rFactor 2, I was confused how to load the cars for a race. You could load, say for instance, if you chose the Aston Martin GT3, but it would only be all those cars in the race and not any other GT3 cars. And they've made it a bit simpler here by coming over and clicking on session settings, and then that's where you get you know the choice for how you want the race to be run, but also the opposition. So as an example, it makes it much clearer to me that you know, you've got the select all and remove all, which was in the old menu of course, but I missed it being hidden away sort of in a slightly more difficult. And so now I can understand that when I click the car and we come down to, if we can find it here, the Formula V, now because I've chosen 19 cars, it will load 19 different liveries, and that's how you select the opposition. But then when I came back again, or back up here, I'm still getting used to it, is I couldn't quite figure out, well then hang on, I've still got the Aston Martin, how do I load myself? And then it dawned on me that they've done it in a way very, very internet-like, in that Aston Martin is actually a link. So that's where you would click on the Aston Martin. And then I was a little confused. Okay, well, how do I select the different car? And then I realised, okay, you come to the top here, select all the cars, and that'll be all the cars that you have downloaded in rFactor 2. We just come along to the Formula V, if I can find it there. Go select. Now, I know the skin I want. They haven't done, it looks like they haven't done the thumbnails for want of a better word, but I know I liked 50, the livery 50, so we'll just select that, and there's your race. And that means now we can go to a race using the Formula V and the opposition on Spa, and I'll have a link to Spa in the description. It's one of the mods that you can get for rFactor 2, and what a brilliant combination it is. So now that we've sorted all that out, it's time to go racing. So I hope you find the racing exciting, but this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later, and let's go racing. Okay folks, so I don't know if you can hear this chirping, but it's the road tyres that gives it its authentic realism. As we get ready for the green light, I can barely set it and we're off. Wheel spin in first, wheel spin in second, and even a little chirp in third. It's just so fantastic as I use my Logitech G29's load cell braking to try and get as many spots as I can while I can, because once they get going they're so hard to catch. But what, you reckon the G29 doesn't have load cell braking? Well, shh, don't tell them that please. Now as I get a bit serious here, this is where I've got to take a big deep breath, because the cars love to rotate, and so off the throttle here to get balanced, and then back on the throttle here as I just sit behind him. It doesn't feel like there's drafting or, you know, just sitting behind him there feels like there's no effect, but I'll try it anyways. He swings to the inside, so I'll go up the inside. And this is exactly what I mean. They might be slow, but the racing is so thrilling. You're constantly fighting them, and you're constantly on the edge of tyre grip as I just make sure I don't rear end anyone. Through here, there's a couple of losers, so they're a bit slow. Oh, managed to gain a spot. I just hope he doesn't hit me. Oh, that's so close. And that's exactly what I mean. It's so incredible here. This is a hard corner, so I'll brake early. Try and come in on the ear side. Get a little bit of momentum. If I can, he's right on the outside of me. Oh, it's so close. Fighting over real estate here. I'll have to let him go because I don't want to muck up just to gain one spot. So I'm in 17th spot, and this is what I mean. The highest I've ever finished in a 3-lap race is 16th, so I try not to lose it here. Oh, it's so incredible. Oh, it's a bit wild through that. There's a car coming up on the inside. There he is. Bang! As we collide. It's a fantastic racing. Oh, trying to... I know I've raced so many open wheelers before in Grand Prix Legends that I don't want to lock the wheels, so that's sort of why I'm letting them go. But it's more about just the enjoyment of the race, the close racing, where if you look, they're not pulling away, like as in, you know, leaving you behind for dead. And this is where the racing is just so fantastic, because set at 100 they seem almost exactly like it, or at least for my ability, and that's where you could fine-tune it. If you've never raced this combo before, and I'll have a link to Spa in the description, it's such a fantastic combo because of Spa's open corners, except for this one coming up. Now I use only 3rd and 4th for the whole track, except for 2nd here, but this is where, if you've got the AI behind you, it can be a bit of a bad thing, because they can paint you off. They're a bit brutal through just this section here, but the rest of the track is so open that let's see if I can gain a spot. Like I said, I normally do a 3-lap. Thank you, crew chief. I normally do a 3-lap race, but I've made this 2 just because it is so hard, as we all try and dive in, but he wanted to do the same thing here. Let's try and get a good exit out, but so does he. This is thrilling. This is so fantastic as we fight over real estate, but I think I'm going to have more nerve than he is. Where is he? Yep, he's definitely behind me now. Alright, but still be gentle. So ease off the throttle, let it turn in now, the throttle again. I haven't had the balls to go full acceleration through there, and I'm not sure if he can, but it'll take a better driver than me if he can do it. Oh, so I'm the highest I've ever been. 15th spot. And that's what I mean. It's like, you know, the joke about Grand Prix Legends was always about just trying to finish a race, let alone get a high spot. And this is the challenge why I like coming back to this over and over again. It's so difficult but so exciting and rewarding that you're just trying to finish the race. So every spot you gain is like a big accomplishment. So if I can finish the highest I finished, that would be the perfect race. I don't want to throw it away now. Oh, I'll give him the lead back. Oh, no, I had to throw that away. I almost spun him around, so I wanted to I'd rather finish the race for the sake of the video than throw it away. But I'm still in 17th. But it just shows you how fantastic and close the racing is. I don't want to throw it away here. Just be gentle, don't come in too hot. Oh, listen to this tyre squeal for mercy as this guy fights me as well. Let's see if I can overtake him somewhere here. Just incredible. He goes to the inside side to block me. This is what I mean. It's just so exciting. I'm just trying to hang on to it. Oh, man. Oh, I think someone lost it. No, it just must have been the way they took the corner there. Ease off, turn in, let it straighten, that's it. Oh, I might get my spot back. Oh no, I fell to 18th, that's right. He was the second guy that passed me, but I'll get that spot back. Beautiful. Oh, this is fantastic. I'll have a link to Spa in the description. I might have said that before, but I can't remember what I said. But yeah, this, if you've never driven this combo before, ease off the throttle, let it balance up. I just hope the car behind me now doesn't pump me out on the last corner, but yeah, I'm happy with 17th, but what a fantastic bit of racing. He wants to come up on the inside of me. I don't want to let him. Oh, hang on to it, Mick, hang on to it. Try and be smooth. Squeeze the toothpaste of the accelerator. No, I'm going to get 17th spot. Fantastic. Oh man, that was sensational. Honestly, you know, when you talk about sim racers that find a great combo and you just want another go, this is exactly that type of combo. If these cars kind of suit you, you know. The Formula V is a modern car, but it has that very old school Grand Prix legend style of drifting or sliding about it. So it just makes fantastic racing now as we do the cool down lap back into the pits. Now, one thing I wanted to mention too was that I am racing this in VR, but I couldn't race it in the beta menu. I already have a problem with the way rFactor seems to handle its memory, where the two best tracks, Le Mans and the Nordschleife, I couldn't even race in VR because it would load to 3/4 and then give me a memory crash. So I'm trying to work that out. But when using the beta menu, it wouldn't even let me load this one. So I had to revert back, and you can I'll have a link to Franky Red's video on how to do it. You can just opt back out of it again and go straight back to the old style menu, and then you know, if that causes a problem for you as it did for me. So you know, I hope you enjoyed this. So what I'll do is I'll leave it here, because all we're doing is going back into the pits, and so I'll leave it here, and I hope you enjoyed this race. Believe me, if you like these cars and you haven't given this combo a go, by all means try it, as we gently cruise now through. See, it's that road feel, it's those front tyres that gives me the force feedback through just even a simple Logitech driving G29. You know, this is still the best entry wheel, but it is an entry wheel, so just the realistic feeling here is, if I exaggerate that front tyre squealing, you know, it's just incredible here. So if you haven't given it a go, by all means, it's just absolutely awesome here. Alright, so we'll fade it out now. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later.